Today, November 1st, is the 31st day of the shutdown, and it doesn't look good whatsoever, as Democrats are discussing whether or not to continue with their efforts, while the Republicans are having luncheons at the White House. There are some cracks in the pavement on both sides, though. We're going to get into that today. You have some centrist Democrats discussing whether or not this is a good idea, while centrist Republicans are discussing the coming to the table and actually debating on the continuing resolution. But you might be asking yourself, well, what's a continuing resolution? What does the government shutdown do? And is this the longest that the government has been shut down? And what do we do? Well, let's start from the top, shall we? What is a continuing resolution? A continuing resolution, or CR, basically provides funding to federal agencies for a certain period of time to avoid a full-on shutdown, which would stop the flow of money to those specific locations. The amount of funding varies, though, as well as timelines of the CR, but right now, Democrats aren't voting on it. And with reason. You see, the Democrats are wanting to extend the Affordable Care Act, or the ACA Credits, for the 24 million Americans that are currently utilizing it to this day. Because if the credits don't extend, premium payments would more than double in 2026. Now, I am not an insurance expert. I'm just going off of what the sources say here, but per the KFF organization, the premium payments could more than double in 2026, depending on annual income. In one of the graphs they have, it shows current tax credits while showing household income examples, while showing what the premiums could be in 2026 without the credits renewed. You see, the graph itself breaks down, showing individuals and a family of 4, and seeing the premium increases is astounding. If you think that what's happening now with the shutdown is bad, imagine when the premiums expire. Now, really quickly though, the American Federation of Government Employees are wanting the shutdown to end. Per The Hill, there are roughly 630,000 workers that have been furloughed, 730,000 workers without pay, and 1.34 million active duty military personnel that would not be paid at the end of the month. Now, yes, I know, it does sound bad. However, imagine 24 million Americans on the ACA that will have to pay almost more than double in premium costs. Now imagine, for just a moment, you're a family of 4 that only makes about $90,000 a year. And right now, while you pay about $4,700 at the moment, imagine paying $8,400. Imagine an extra $3,700 in healthcare costs that come out of your pocket. If you think healthcare is expensive now, it's going to get a lot worse. That money could be used for groceries. It could be used for cars. It could be used for your bills, for mortgages. Just think about that for a minute. Now, like I said before, both sides are only as strong as concrete in their stances, especially now that we can see the cracks appear. Members like Dan Crenshaw questioning why they're still in the districts rather than in D.C. debating, while Marjorie Taylor Greene not only snapping at Mike Johnson, but also going on to X, posting and saying, quote, "You left out that I said I have no respect for the House not being in session, passing our bills and President's executive orders. And I demanded to know from Speaker Johnson what the Republican plan for health care is to build the off-ramp off Obamacare and the ACA tax credits to make health insurance affordable for Americans." End quote. I have a strong feeling on what the Republicans' plan is. Remember, the Republicans are the ones that are not coming to the table. However, they're telling the American people that the Democrats are the reason for the shutdown. The issue is this. CRs only get gridlocked when the House or the Senate can't come to an agreement. But the side that normally gets blamed is the one with the most power in government. Republican congressmen blame Democrats, but voters blame Republicans a little bit more. My belief is that Republicans are holding out to see if the Dems will let snap falter on the 1st, and Dems are waiting to have the Republicans either come to the table or bring in the nuclear option. Now, the nuclear option is basically overriding the 60-40 rule, which is the tradition in the Senate, and placing a 51-49 rule. This happens a lot with confirming presidential nominees, but the consequences are very, very bad for the majority party when it comes to these sort of continuing resolutions. This could not only destroy relationships within the opposition, but also destroy the ability to get anything else passed in the future. Now, this is where the game of chicken comes into play. The CBO is reporting to lose between $7 and $14 billion in lost GDP. Now, we will be back on track in 2026, but at the moment, it's going to look dire either way. At this point, the candle is being lit on both ends by both parties, waiting to see who gets burned first. But what's crazy is that both sides equally blame the president for this. And with good reason. He himself has stated that it's the fault of the president when a government shuts down. And here's a very interesting fact. He has both the largest government shutdowns under his belt in both terms.
In my opinion, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep
Well, there's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States.
But of course, the president doesn't want to wait. Instead, he wants the nuclear option. Republicans don't want it because they know the implications of it. However, we'll just have to wait and see what they do.
This morning, President Trump is calling on Republicans to change the rules in the Senate to reopen the government. Trump posting overnight, it is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card and go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now.
In the meantime, you better grab your masks and brace yourselves. I'm just kidding. The federal judge just ordered President Trump to continue SNAP benefits. So now the Republicans have no choice because they don't have a card to play with. Their card was completely removed by the dealer. There's no chance for them to even bet out of this. So either continue along, not doing anything, showing that it's the fault of the Republicans for this whole shutdown, to come to the table and actually debate and actually work together to fix this continuing resolution and potentially put in the ACA credits to an extension, or go with the nuclear option. And to the people that are out there that are part of the federal government that are waiting for their checks, I hope nothing but the best for you. I hope that our state governments will be able to help you. Our local governments will be able to help and assist as well. And hopefully these SNAP benefits come quick for the people that need it the most. It's radical of me to say this, but if I were president of the United States, I would want for members of Congress to not get paid if the government ever shuts down. But that's just me. Here we go.